category of work for me is, if we're going to win any of this stuff, right, we've got to strengthen our base around the state. And for me, that means both supporting and working with the existing chapters, but then asking and trying to get the chapters to really focus on some of these priority districts. And so how do we move some of the more moderate Republicans in the purple districts, right? And so I would really want you all to be working with me to figure out, okay, how do we focus on the 3 or 4 districts in this area, and how do we do meetings with them, how do we get postcards, you know, the basic lobbying stuff, how do we really intensify it in those districts? And so I'm, you know, really going to want to work with you. And then in the places where there are no chapters nearby, can we build an independent structure in those districts? And so we're going to have to focus on building the work around the state. The third set of work for me is around rebuilding the organization's internal structures and budget. And that, you know, the office has to, you know, be a strong functioning office to be able to support the network and support the moving of an agenda. And so you know, I'm working right now on upgrading our computer systems so that we can function. We're switching. I've signed a contract to switch our database from what we've got to one that will allow us to function at a higher level. I don't know if we can do it, but I'm really interested in trying to figure out, is there a way that chapters can have some access to the database so that we can do this all collaboratively? You know, if you guys could update addresses as opposed to me having to, you send it to us and then we, I mean, that would, we just need, you know, there are, the strongest organizations in the country have integrated databases that, and again, trying to figure out how we can do that. And now I've got to get it functioning for the office first, but that's my next step, is then how can we do it in a way that can be really integrated. We've got to build the financial support for the organization. We're going to do that in a variety of ways. We are going to pursue every foundation option that we can. And that will be easier once we clarify the issues, right? I can't move some of the foundation stuff till we get the issue stuff decided. But I'm hoping that we will make that decision jointly in June, and that the decision will be one that the board with the chapters will make together. So again, we're going to be continuing to pursue a number of foundations. We have over the years gotten a significant amount of support from both denominations and judicatories and congregations. And so we're going, in the next month or so, I should be able to have for you, these are the congregations in the Northern Virginia area that are supporting us, and here are the ones that used to support us and aren't now. And I'm going to want your help in trying to figure out, well, if we made somebody mad, can we apologize and rebuild a relationship with some of these congregations? Because we need it both for organizing and for money, right? It's all the same, right? So again, we are going to be building those that support from the religious community, and again, the chapters can really help with that. And then we have to build a strong individual donor program. And you know, I know I've looked at the financial giving records, and I know almost everybody in this room is giving to the organization, and so I thank you for that gift. And if you are not giving, I hope you will change that very quickly. And we're asking people to not only give financially now, but also think about whether you can make longer term gifts. So can you also, you know, can some people make stock gifts, right? Do you have some stock that's appreciated? Can you make a stock gift? We just got the little button explaining how to do it on the website on stock gifts. Yay. You know, we have got a few people who have the organization in their will. I'm going to put the organization in my will. You know, I've asked all the board members to do that. Some of you could do that too. Anyway, so we've got to just really bolster the financial support for the organization. So those are the three buckets of work that I'm doing. Now there's two other little things I want to mention. I've been trying to think about the way the Virginia legislature functions or doesn't. Is just, it's a crazy, it's just crazy that that you've got this 6 weeks or 8 weeks or, it's like, really?
Hey, in San Antonio, they only meet every other year.
Yeah, so it could be worse, you're telling me. All right, well, it seems to me one of the challenge is because it's so quickly, right? On the one hand, we've got to do most of our work before then. Right? We've got to doing the meetings, we've got to line up the stuff. On the other hand, it is really important to have a very visible presence in that short time period. And so I'm beginning to recruit volunteers who would be a part of a witness team for us and who would be willing and interested in being in Richmond during the entire legislative session. I've already got 2 volunteers agreed, but I'd love to get 6 or 8 who become our God Squad on the Capitol. That have a visit, and I'm not sure how. We may get some T-shirts, or I'm not sure what we'll do exactly, but I want people to be very visible as Virginia Interfaith. Go to all the hearings, go to the meetings, and be able to report back to the chapters and the district structures like what their folks are saying, so we can get some of that immediate feedback on it. So again, if any of you might be interested in doing that, I'm going to recruit people to house you if you're not in Richmond. I'll get some volunteers to house volunteers.
Are you willing to consider instead of entire sort of various tag teams of?
Sure, I'll take some tag teams. I'll take tag teams.
Rubbing my back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's massaging.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. So anyway, that's a small piece I want to get into people's minds right now. The other one, and again, my instinct on this is that it would need to be very small initially, but I'd love us to do something in the civic engagement space, whether it's voter reg, all nonpartisan, of course, voter reg, voter turnout, something, voter education. Just so that we can get a little bit of organizational experience this year so that we could build on it in future years. I just saw, I think an easy thing we could do is put out an interfaith, voter guide kind of thing, voter registration, whatever piece. And in fact, the Lutherans have one, and they told me I could plagiarize the whole thing. So I'm like, but again, I think if we could do one that's kind of an interfaith version, I'd like to do something little in that space and do it maybe some pilot project in one of these priority districts or something, so that again it can really help build. I'm a voter and I support Medicaid expansion or something. Anyway, again, I'm still kind of playing around in my mind what's possible, and for me it has to be a pretty small project given our overall capacity right now, but I'd like to get us in that mix. All right, anyway, so let me stop. That's kind of what I'm thinking, noodling, and sort of vision for me is always it's a work in progress, and it's a work in progress in conversation with people. So again, where I'm at right now is really in conversation with the board and other people I've been meeting, but I'd love your thoughts on, like, that sounds good, that sounds wacko, yes, I'm excited about, I'd love your thoughts. Anyway.
I want to be a hot dog if I can, but others have to leave early, and I can be less hot dog.
That's okay.
I'm delighted. Quick questions. Does redistricting come under civic engagement?
Yeah.
not just redistricting, but how
You mean
education,
gerrymandering?
education on how our districts are formed
Right.
and who are the people we are connected with
Redistricting reform.
in terms of shared needs and shared interests. I don't know, just that's a